Let's go over some training for Parentlink. Parentlink is our calling system that allows you to send out mass emails and phone calls to all of the families in our district. So first things first, what is the web address of Parentlink? It's salcosd.parentlink.net, and that will take you to the logon page. I'll send you your logon information, and you can enter that information into the system. Once you get signed on there, and your Parentlink account is not synchronized with your school SalcoSD account, so you'll have to set up a separate password for that. But once you're logged in, this is the home page that you'll see. I'm going to go across the top here, actually in reverse order, because messages is where we want to end up. So we're going to spend just a quick amount of time showing you these options at the top. Their help page. If you are using this, you probably should have contacted me, and I can troubleshoot the issues for you. But you can contact Blackboard directly if you need. Settings, you shouldn't need to spend any time really in the settings page. I just want to let you know that this is here. We don't pre-populate out to our social media accounts. We can consider that if we want to, but we have not in the past. Global settings, we do have a delivery blackout period from 11 to 4:30 a.m., 11 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. This, as we go through the settings, this is probably the most important one for you to recognize, that if you're sending a message and you're scheduling it to go out, typically we schedule our messages to go out at 6 p.m., but let's say you're scheduling it to go out at 9 o'clock, for example. That message will start going out at 9 p.m. But not every phone call goes through on the first attempt, and the system will keep retrying and retrying that message until you hit 11 p.m. and then that's it. It will cut off delivery at that point. So if you need to send a message at 10:45 p.m., that first 15 minutes, it will go out, and then 11 o'clock, it will shut it off unless you specify in the messages setting that it's an emergency message, in which case the delivery blackout times are nullified. So that's just important for you to recognize, and we'll go over that in a moment there. Reports. Rarely, if ever, do I think the principals and superintendent have used these in the past. But sometimes the request will come through to me, hey, can you remind me when we sent messages, last school year, and you can run that report to get that information. You can also look up phone numbers that have been added to our do not contact list over time. So, and message tracking, this is where you can pull up reports of any messages that have been sent out over a particular period of time. Accounts, here's where you can, through the drop-down list, pull up students at a particular school. I'm not going to do it so we don't have those student names populated in this video. You can also search for accounts up here. Now, if an account has just been recently added, sometimes their search indexing system doesn't populate immediately. So for example, if a new student moves in and their information is manually updated in Parentlink, you might not be able to find them using this search box at the top right away, but their names will be listed in the accounts here. And so let's go to messages, because that's really the most important thing for you to know about using the system, is how you send out a message. So first of all, it's very similar to sending an email, essentially. You have to type a subject, try to keep it consistent. You know, if it's school closing for weather, we always want it to say school closed dash the date. You know, but that subject can be whatever you want it to be. Just keep in mind, whatever you name it, that's the subject line that goes out in the email if you select to have emails generated for it. Recipients, we can click choose here, and you have several different ways of selecting recipients. You can pull up these different groups and select all. So if you wanted a message to go out to all students and parents, you'd click select all next to those groups and be good to go. Community members are board members. District administrators, those are actually just the administrator accounts in Parentlink, where our administrator contact information is also in the staff group as well. We also have groups, and here's where we can look up groups by grade level. And in one of the other videos I showed you how the Administrators Plus field is populated to generate groups within Parentlink, so that way you can automatically select those students that are writing SC10, for example. In addition to selecting groups, or from the list here, you can upload a file. That file can either include IDs of existing contacts within the system, or it can just be a file with phone numbers in it. So right now, for example, since we haven't rolled over the scheduling year to be the active year, our kindergartners in the 2021-2022 school year are not in the Parentlink system. When we migrate or make 2021-2022 active, one of the tasks I'll do is synchronize our Parentlink system with our student information system, and then our kindergartners will be in there. If we need to call all of our kindergartners before that happens, what we could do is export a list of phone numbers from Administrators Plus as a text file or a spreadsheet, and we could upload that into Parentlink using this option. We do not use from a map typically here. It is if all the students have the correct home address information in there, it is possible to send out a call to just certain towns or certain sections of the community using the from a map option, but we've really never needed to do that. So once you've typed in a subject, made some selections for recipients, you have the option of when the message should go out. So we can create this message in the morning and schedule it to go out at night. When you click on this button here, you get several different options. So you can change the time. You can choose to send it during the blackout period, which we covered earlier. Always deliver to all recipient delivery addresses. And the reason for this is that if you don't check that box, Parentlink will deliver the message to the first number associated with an account. And so if we have an account, a family or a parent that has a home phone number and a cell phone listed for themselves, the call will go out. If it's picked up by even an answering machine with that home phone number, that's it. That's all. That's the only place that call will be delivered. They won't also deliver it to the cell phone. So you need to make sure that you select both, or it's delivered to all recipient addresses to ensure that their home phone rings and their cell phone rings. Deliver to parents of students is applicable if you're just selecting students in the recipient box. I suggest always, unless there's a particular reason you're targeting just certain students or certain families, I suggest always selecting all students and all families. You can leave the do not play header footer prompts during outbound calling in place. Allow other users to also send this message. That's really not necessary for what we do here. And then, so you could make those changes. I select, at the very least, deliver to all recipient addresses. Do not check this box, the blackout times box, unless you really, really need it to happen. So those options are saved. Advanced options, that's just the same window that you get with when clicking on the start time. Emergency, so if you click emergency, you'll get immediately ignoring system blackout times and to all recipient numbers. So a big distinction, these two at the top are important to recognize. If you're sending it out as an emergency, it's going to go immediately, even if you've selected to send it later. Basically, it should be rare that you ever check this box. Here's where you can type in your template. We always like to start with, this is a recorded message from Sullivan County School District. And then continue on with the message. This template is not included in the email, and it's not used as text to voice for the phone. In order to actually have calls go out, you'll need to select the modes of communication that you want to utilize. So we want to make a phone call. You have different ways of selecting the audio. The simplest is to have the system call you on a number that you specify. So this is my office phone number listed here. I'd click call me to record, and my phone would ring. I'd pick it up, record the message, and in addition to that, it's important that your message be at least 10 to 20 seconds long. If it's very short, sometimes by the time the system or by the time a person picks up the phone, the system's already started playing the message and they'll miss the message. So our standard practice is to say this is a recorded message from the Sullivan County School District, then you state the message, and then it's important to repeat it again just in case someone missed the opening line of the message. But once you've recorded that, actually, here, we'll go ahead and process it. This is a recorded message from the Sullivan County School District. Here is the message. Yet again, this is a recorded message from the Sullivan County School District. Here is the message. After you record it, you can choose to re-record it by pressing 1. I think it's option 1 on that system call, but it tells you each time you take the call, press 1 to re-record, press 2 to listen to it again, press 3 to save it. I think those are the 3 options. Once it's recorded and saved, you can play it back.
This is a recorded message from the Sullivan County School District.
Make sure that it actually sounds the way you want it. And then you can send a test call to a cell phone number to someone else, for example. Like let's say, both principals were working on a message together and one's recorded it, they could send it to the other principal to give them feedback on how it sounds. If you want to send an email, you need to click on the email icon here. You'll see it auto-populated with the information that was in the template. You might want to add in a, dear families line, sincerely. And once again, the email they'll receive will have this subject line, and this will be the contents of the email. It can just be plain text. You can add images. You can do do a lot with this, but for sending weather alerts and those sorts of things, this is sufficient. It is also possible to send text messages through our system. We do not, and if you accidentally click that and you want to remove it, you can just click on that X there. So that's how you generate a message in Parentlink. When you're satisfied with it, you'll click send, and the message will be queued in the system until the start time. So if you queue the message at 9:30, decide you want to change it later on, it is possible to do that. But if that's the first time that happens to you, contact me and we can go over that process. So that's Parentlink in 15 minutes. The bulk of what you need to do is right here on the messages section. So when we're actually in the training session, I'll also show you how you can view, look up a student's contact information and see the number of contacts that they've actually had via the Parentlink system. And if someone says, oh, I didn't receive a call last night, there's a way to actually log in and look that information up.